God, I feel like sometimes when I go on TikTok, my brain dies a little bit. The amount of stupidity sometimes I see on TikTok, it's just, ugh. I forget how old I am. I forget I'm not young and stupid. I don't think I was ever this stupid though. I could be wrong. I'm in my garden or I'm in some sort of a field. I can't get this filter off. I don't know how to do it. I've been trying all morning and I've just given up. I'm recording on my phone. My phone hasn't got a filter on. I'm recording on Riverside. That hasn't got a filter on. Don't know where this has come from. So we're just going with it. It's just this episode, hopefully, and until I can figure it out. But I've just given up with it today. So please excuse me while I fuck around with this because it's just causing me stress now. And I've gone really hot all of a sudden, so this is coming off as well. Stripping. Yeah, so just rejig myself. So I've come across a couple of like really concerning things on TikTok recently, and I just think we need to talk about them. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do this in different parts because I think the last thing that I wanted to talk about is actually warranting its own show because it's just a bit weird, and I don't like it. To do with Sephora Kids. I don't even know what that is, really. Yeah, we'll deal with that when we come to it anyway. The first thing I want to talk about is actually a trend that seems to be doing the rounds at the moment. And I know these things come into fashion and then they go out of fashion and, you know, they are a trend. They last for a limited amount of time and then they go. But this one is, I think what's worrying is that with these trends, they are either dangerous or they're just not very nice. They are, you know, they're just icky. And this one in particular is actually bullying. I think it is really bordering on bullying. So that's what I want to talk about today. And this is the flip the camera trend. Now, if you haven't seen flip the camera trend, I have got some clips I'm going to show you. This is in no way to pick on the creators essentially that have done these trends. I mean, I don't even know necessarily whether these videos are sort of highlighting the trend or whether they are part of the trend, if that makes sense. So it's very difficult on TikTok to see whether people are actually just uploading the video originally and they're sort of calling out the trend or whether they were the original instigators of that said trend. These are just clips that I've pulled to show what that trend is. So the flip the camera trend is basically you have a group of children, generally young teens that I've seen predominantly doing it. And they will have their camera in front of them and they will be recording themselves and they're doing this like weird sort of fish dance. It's odd. So they do this little dance and then they ask someone to hold the camera while they're recording so that they can be recorded as a group doing this dance. And it seems very innocent until about 3 seconds into this person who's very kindly offered to record them. So the person there is recording them. These people are doing the dance. They will then walk up to the camera and flip it so that it's then the camera is on the person that's recording with no sort of knowledge of themselves being recorded. And you might be thinking, well, I don't understand why that's a bad thing. Why is that a bad thing? It's to take the piss out of the person that's recording them. That is the whole point of it. So if someone comes up to your child and your child says, oh, I can hold it, I'll record it, they might think that they're being nice and they're offering to do a nice thing for their friends. inverted commas, by holding the camera while their friends do a dance. But then they end up being the butt of the joke because the camera flips on them, and it is to take the piss out of them being recorded, and either to mock their looks, mock the way they dress, mock their facial expressions while they're recording it. It's just really not nice, and it is bullying. However you look at it now, I know some of the bigger creators, again, I'm going to show you some of their videos as well to show you how they've kind of covered this. I know some of the bigger creators have called this out, which I love, because obviously the children that are doing these trends are generally following these bigger creators. So it is nice to see these creators with millions of followers coming out and saying, no, this is not okay. Let's not do this. Let's stop doing this. So I'm going to show you a couple of the videos so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about.
We'll get wild and lock. The shots is worth of 40 damn shot kept that back share in the purchase door lodges Nicholas outside of slot early morning 9 o'clock.
So that was the first one.
We'll get wild and lock. The shots is worth of 40 damn shot kept that back.
Obviously doing this with a teacher.
Nicholas outside of slot early morning 9 o'clock. Work on the end, I make body shot. Ain't feel no body shot.
And I will say with that second one, I'm not entirely sure because it is like teens doing it with an adult. I'm not entirely, and the adult does seem to be sort of smiling. I don't necessarily think that there may be bullying because they seem to be smiling as well. So I think maybe that is just them doing the trend without, and the teacher might be, I'm assuming it's their teacher. He looks like a teacher. Whatever a teacher looks like, he just kind of has a teacher vibe. So I'm assuming that he might be actually sort of in on that, but it's still, I don't think, a great thing to promote. I think if we're doing these trends, it's great because as a person that's on social media, you do trends to kind of get yourself up on the algorithm. You get more views, you get more likes, get more follows. So everyone does trends, but I think it's important to look at where the origins of that trend came from before you do it. So in that case, if I am right and they are all in on it and it's okay and it's just friends and teacher having a laugh together, that's okay, but maybe they probably shouldn't have done it given that it's not a great trend to be doing, especially seeing as it's around bullying and there's children involved in it. And then there's this one.
Lamar, I get one flip Lamar, flip right before Irish, and I got to delete your body lock, but don't want to catch no Irish.
He just looks really confused, like, I don't know what's going on here. So you can kind of see it's just not nice. It doesn't look like much, but it is bullying. The reason that I'm bringing this to the podcast today is to just kind of make parents aware that these things are out there, and it's something to maybe talk with your kids about, because I think we need to be aware so that we can talk to our children about them. So I'm going to show you a video from another creator, which I will tag below, that she just kind of explains the flip the camera trend a little better. Her name on TikTok is Nichelle Laus. I don't know if I've pronounced that right, so I apologize, but I will tag her below if you want to go and have a look at
the flip the camera trend. Is when someone gets a person to film them dancing or whatever with their friends, and then they suddenly go up to the camera and flip the camera onto the person who's actually filming them without their consent to embarrass them. Now, before you laugh at it, watch closely, because this isn't funny. It's bullying. This trend is literally built on catching someone off guard and turning them into a joke. The person being filmed never agreed to be part of the content, yet they become the punchline. And here's what most people forget. You don't know their story. Maybe they've struggled with bullying, body image, anxiety, or confidence. One viral video can undo years of progress. Most people laugh it off because they feel pressured or uncomfortable, not because they're actually okay with it. During Anti-Bully Week in Canada, let's be clear. If your content hurts someone, it's not content. It's cruelty. Choose kindness, not clicks.
So I think she just kind of explained what I said, but just in a nicer way, and probably a better way. It's bullying. So these are two creators that I found that have also called out this trend. So Brooke Monk is a huge creator on TikTok. She has 42.8 million followers on TikTok, and she has called out this trend. Now, she's done it in a way of if she was the one that was being recorded, just to kind of show how it would feel, which I like. It's kind of still showing the negative side to this trend, but in her way. And then the other creator that has also called it out is Natalie Reynolds. Natalie Reynolds kills me. She's not as big as Brooke Monk, but there's a bit of a controversy as to whether she completely copies her content. She's got 3.8 million followers. I think Natalie Reynolds is really funny. Whether she copies or not is down for you to decide, but she's done her own version of this.
Y'all really thought I'm about to flip the camera? This is not a trend. This is bullying. And if you need to embarrass somebody for your own entertainment, that is a new level of low. Do better.
Using a Jerry Swole thing there, I think, with the do better.
Until then, you need to do better. Mind your own business.
So she's called it out as well. So some of the big creators are stepping up and calling this out. So that's the first trend I wanted to talk about, the flip the camera trend. Let me know in the comments whether you've heard of this. Is it something that's a problem? Is it something that's new? Have you not heard of it? What do you think? Do you think it's bullying? Do you think it's just a fun thing that kids are doing these days? Or do you think we're right and it is bullying? Let me know. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is just some really dumbass stuff that I've seen on TikTok. I feel like sometimes when I go on TikTok, my brain dies a little bit. The amount of stupidity sometimes I see on TikTok, it's just, ugh. I forget how old I am. I forget I'm not young and stupid. I don't think I was ever this stupid though. I could be wrong. But there's a couple of like weird stuff that I have found while I was sort of researching for this episode. Worrying trends, and the weirdest one that I found, which is kind of a new, I don't know whether it's new as such, but it's something that people are doing at the moment. Eye roll. All right, so there's a thing at the moment going around on TikTok called the NyQuil chicken TikTok. Now, if you live in England, like I do, probably thinking, what's an NyQuil? It's basically like a night nurse. It's a sleeping drink, essentially. People are cooking their chicken in sleeping drink. Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? It's so stupid. God. And if you don't believe me, let's have a quick look, shall we?
Something I never imagined we would have to say here on TV. Don't cook chicken in NyQuil. Kind of goes without saying, but yeah, we're talking about NyQuil, the same stuff that you take when you're feeling crummy. Apparently, there's a new social media challenge now that is encouraging people to cook their chicken in the cough syrup. Here's the thing. That's really dangerous, just like it kind of sounds right off the tip of the tongue there when we say it. The FDA says that boiling medication like that can actually change its properties, making it more concentrated, which means that just by breathing in the vapors, you can damage your lung.
Why? And I actually can't find anything, which is weird as to why. Did they think that it's going to make them sleep better? I found this article here and it really doesn't explain anything at all. So this is a thing on Gab Now where it says some trending TikTok hashtags are so bizarre, it's hard to believe they're real. Take the sleepy chicken or NyQuil chicken TikTok. Creators are encouraged to cook chicken marinated in cough syrup. The greenish hue of the chicken does not look appetizing, and the concentrated medicine is definitely going to be an overdose. There's little evidence that anyone has actually consumed the chicken, so I don't know whether this is just pure rage baiting or Yeah. Why I've featured this, though, is because if you've got young children on social media, you will know that children see stupid things like this and they do them. It's what kids do. And especially if they see it multiple times over and over and over again, that they're going to think this is okay. It's okay to cook chicken in cough medicine. Apparently. I worry. I worry for humanity sometimes. Sometimes when you just think, are we supposed to be here, or maybe they're like conspiracy theorists were right and we all did actually die in 2020 with COVID and we are living in some sort of dystopian hellscape, because I read things like this and I just think there cannot be people like this on the planet. But apparently they walk amongst us. I don't know. As a parent, I just feel like wrapping my kid up in cotton wool and going, no, you can't meet people. People are weird. You're staying inside. That's it. You're not going outside ever again. Then we've got some slightly more, I suppose, still equally stupid, I would say, but not maybe quite as dangerous. They would probably make you ill. So we've got the one chip challenge. So this is a challenge where it's promoted originally by someone called Paqui. I don't know if I've pronounced that right. It's an American brand of tortilla chip. And basically it involves eating a single chip or crisp, that we call it in England, that is made with Carolina Reaper peppers, which I don't like spicy stuff. I am aware of a Carolina Reaper pepper. Do I want one? No, I would die. I would literally just expire if I tried one. I'm a korma girl. Basically, the hottest thing that I can have is a tikka, and I have to put coconut, like korma sauce in it to mild it even more. So yeah, I have a very limited tolerance for peppers and spices. Carolina Reaper peppers scared the fuck out of me. Do I want one? No. Would I eat one? No. This is a challenge. Again, kids are silly and they will, especially in high school, take things like this into school and go, here you go, Fred, try a chip. What is the problem with this? You might be thinking, oh, okay, it's just a chip. It's just a crisp. It's a bit of hot crisp. So I might get a bit of a hot mouth. So a teen actually died in 2023 after participating in this challenge. The crisp manufacturers did actually pull it off the shelves because extremely spicy food can cause vomiting, diarrhea, heart problems, and even damage the esophagus as well. So not nice consequences from eating a crisp. And again, this is going around on TikTok, so please be aware, if you've got children on TikTok, to be aware of this and to tell them that, if someone comes up and asks them to do the one chip challenge or spicy chip challenge, to just not. It's just probably best to not do. I'm not saying that everyone that eats a spicy chip or eats this is going to get problems like this, but, probably best case scenario, they might get the shits for a couple of days. So, we've also got, again, another dangerous one. I haven't got videos of this, obviously, and I actually did go on TikTok to try and search some of these, and I think the hashtags have been banned, which is great. I think maybe they've started to pull them now from TikTok, which is amazing. But again, things start coming back round and, you only have to have one person that manages to slip through the moderation on TikTok, and then all of a sudden it's a viral video again and people start doing it again. So I'm still bringing it to your attention. The Skull Breaker Challenge, which I don't really think needs much clarification on why this is dangerous, but basically the challenge involves 3 people standing side by side. The middle person is told that they're all going to be taking a jumping photo. So the two on the outside are actually in on the prank, but the one in the middle is not. They're all told that they're doing a jumping photo. And just as the one that's in the middle jumps, the two standing on either side kick their legs, which causes them to fall backwards. So again, this is just a really stupid, really dangerous challenge because they're going to fall and hurt their back, their head, the back of their head. Worst case scenario, they could crack their head open on something. We don't know what's going on in the background. If they hit a stone. I remember when I was younger, I used to be, despite the size of me now, childbirth, put on weight and chocolate. Yeah, these things. We're working with what we're working with now. It's just I'm rolling with it. But when I was younger, I was thinner and I was a lot more flexible than I am now. Now I can barely get out of bed without going, ugh. When I was younger, I could do back bends, and my favourite trick, party trick, was to walk backwards down a wall so that I was in a back bend on the floor. I didn't even that fucking hurt me then. God, I'm so old. So I was doing this. I think I was intoxicated and I was trying to show off. And I thought, oh, I could do this. I could still do my party trick, my walking down the wall back bend. Did it. And my foot, I was on gravel and my foot sort of lost its slip. It was like halfway down the wall. And my foot just slipped on the gravel. And obviously I went backwards, like in an arch down, landed on my head. It didn't actually hurt me, but I stood up, rubbed my head, and I thought, there's something sticky. What have I fell on? I thought, oh my God, I fell on like dog poo or some sweet or something. It was something sticky. Took my hand away and it was absolutely covered in blood. And I was like, oh, okay. I had cracked my head on a teeny tiny little stone. A little stone had just gone right into the wrong place and it had just split my head open. So causing someone to fall backwards, it doesn't even need to be on like a wall. It could just be a very small stone. I'm so sorry if I'm sounding like I've got a cold at the moment, but I needed to release an episode because I'm so shit at doing this. Yeah, so skull breaker challenge. It's another one to be aware of. Might be also called like the jumping challenge as well. Then we've got the black hair challenge. Now, this is, again, referred to the choking or scarf challenge or pass out challenge. And basically people are encouraged to go around and choke themselves or hyperventilate until they pass out. Do I need to explain this one? But I will. So this practice deprives the brain of oxygen. Again, this is coming from Gab Now. I will link this below if you want to read the full article. 3 minutes without oxygen can cause serious brain damage. 5 minutes without oxygen can cause death. This was February 3rd, 2025 that this article was written. And it says that in the last 18 months of this challenge is still active. People are still doing this. It has been linked to several deaths of kids 12 and younger. This one is worrying for me, more so than any of the other ones currently. So my son Jacob is massively, massively into wrestling at the moment. And it's challenges like this that worry me because something like this could easily be put into kind of a wrestling connotation. So they could be practicing at school or playing around at school. He's 5.5. He goes to MMA. So he is kind of aware of doing certain moves. And I put him in MMA because he was so into WWE wrestling. But I wanted him to have that control and know when to do it. So I'm hoping that sort of sensibility comes into play with stuff like this if something like this ever came out in his school. Because this one, if they were to get each other in like a lock or something or a hold or, it's, yeah, have a word with your kids about this one. And I'm not even saying that they probably mean to, but they might be just prattling around with it and then it accidentally choke a friend out or accidentally cause someone to pass out. I had it happen again to me once, and it was by accident. A friend came up to me when I was younger, and they came up behind me and put their hand over my mouth like this and just pinched my nose. But they got their hand over my mouth, pinched my nose at the same time. But I was sort of mid-inhale, so I didn't have like a full breath when I did it. So I kind of went, and it just automatically, literally within seconds, I could feel myself going. And fortunately, the person that did it realised and let go. But that's how easy it can happen. So they probably might not even be maybe doing it, but it's another one to be aware of. There's just a full list of them. So yeah, I will link this article below because this is where I'm getting a lot of these challenges from. So another one that I do have a video for is one called the Nido Microwave Challenge. So this is a new one that I've not heard of. I've not even heard of Nido. Don't know what that is, but apparently it's like a sensory toy. It's like a fidget toy. And it's got gel or like goo inside it. That means that you can kind of pull it, you can squish it, you can, stretch it, and it kind of goes back to its original shape. The trend that's going around on TikTok with the Nido microwaving challenge is that these kids are putting them in the microwave in order to make them softer so that they squish. But obviously when they're heating it up to a certain temperature, they only do it for a few seconds, but the gel inside it gets so extremely hot. They take it out of the microwave and sometimes they will just burst as soon as they kind of come out of the microwave and they just explode. You may have seen the one with the egg where people are putting boiled eggs in the microwave, and as soon as they go to open the egg, it just pops and it explodes egg all over them. This is very similar to that. And if you've ever had hot cheese on you, like my husband, he's a butcher, he had this the other day at work, and he accidentally dropped some hot cheese on his hand. It's excruciating. He called it lava cheese because it is literally, and it sticks to you. So it's not something you can just sort of instantly rub off. It sort of gels to you because it's that hot and sticky. So it makes the burn that much worse. Now you imagine if that had burst in your face or your eyes or your mouth. Don't let your kids put these things in the microwave. So just so you know what I'm talking about, here we go.
Kids love.
So again, you can see they're kind of cube shaped. They look a little bit like ices, but I think they can come in different shapes and things.
Kids love to squeeze and stretch them. Social media shows people putting them in microwaves to make them more squishy. Scarlett's mom says after her daughter heated up the Nido in the microwave, she landed in the burn ward and a medically induced coma. I spoke to the child and
I didn't hear that bit first time I watched it. I didn't actually realize she'd ended up in a coma because of this. So I'm shocked by that one, because even I was just sort of thinking it was burns, and burns are bad enough, but this little girl ended up in a coma because of this, because she was putting a toy that she'd seen on TikTok in the microwave.
Mom Amanda Blankenship. What happened with the Nido toy?
So a little bit of a content warning here. The news is going to ask about what happened when the little girl, she's interviewing the mum, and she's going to ask her what happened. And they've actually got some live footage. Now, I am putting a warning on this because it is quite distressing that you can hear their little girl screaming in the background after this toy bursts. So just bear that in mind if you don't want to listen to that.
I spoke to the child and Mom Amanda Blankenship. What happened with the Nido toy? Suddenly, the toy burst open, burning the 8-year-old in the face. Her mom rushes her to the sink.
It was sticky and it was hot. So I was just ripping it off of her face.
Both moms warn never put Nido in the microwave.
I don't think anybody should put toys in a microwave. I think that should be like the number one thing is let's not microwave any toy.
So again, sorry about the distressing bit there. That was a news report about it, but I think it's important that you see it and to be aware of the seriousness of putting these things in the microwave and to not let your children do it. The next part of my episode, like I say, I could probably do another episode on this, and I may do, to go into this in more depth. I'm just going to cover this briefly. Is to do with the Sephora kids. I have a number of issues with this for obvious reasons. So, Sephora kids, if you aren't aware, is a trend or thing going around on TikTok with young pre-teen age girls generally. It's just sad. It's just really quite sad that we've got to this stage where in society, young girls, young children are more concerned with how they look, whether they can become an influencer, than going outside and playing with their toys or friends. When I was 10, I was born in 88. It was great. It was just before we had technology come and ruin everything. I love technology, don't get me wrong. I'm surrounded by tech. I couldn't do this if it wasn't for tech. So don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking tech entirely. I'm a virtual assistant. I work from home. Again, couldn't do my job without tech. But from a parent point of view, I just see what it's doing to children. And I see not just the obvious dangers of the freaks and the weirdos and, the pedophiles that we've got around, that we just open them up to this whole world of not very nice people through social media and through tech. But what it's actually doing to children, where I think it's taking away their innocence and taking away their childhood. When I was 10, I played with Barbies. I used to sit outside in the sun all day with my toys. I would play on the lawn on my own. I would play with friends if I had friends over. We would sit out with a little picnic out there and we would literally play for hours and hours and hours, and we would make up these amazing stories in our heads to do with our Barbies or Ken, the horse and carriage. I remember an old friend of mine, she used to have the white horse and carriage with Barbie that walked. It was battery powered. It was great at the time. It was like a big thing. I was very jealous, and my mum brought me the brown horse. So we both had a horse and carriage each, and they would walk with the Barbies in the carriage, and it was amazing. And we would make up these stories, and we would literally be it would be like our own little fantasy world. No one could come into this world that was not invited. We didn't have a clue what was going on in the house with our parents. We were on it. We were zoned into Barbie and Ken and the horses. That was it. And when my friend wasn't here and I was on my own, don't get me wrong, I was more than welcome to play in the rest of the house, but I was quite happy going and sitting up in my bedroom on my own, again, without the TV. We had like one TV in the living room and it had channels 1 to 5 at the time. But I would sit in my bedroom again. I would play with toys. I would read magazines. I would lie on my bed. I'd, make up these stories in my head. I would talk to my characters and play with my little figures. I'd colour, I'd doodle, I'd draw, I'd read. It was just the best childhood that you could have. And then in the summer, we'd be out on our bikes. I would go out with my friends. We'd get our bikes together, and then me and my friend again, we used to pretend that they were horses. So we would pretend that our bikes were horses, and we were going out on a pony ride rather than a bike ride. Or sometimes we'd pretend they were motorbikes, and we'd get a can and you'd crush the can. Like, you'd roll your wheel over the can, and then you'd put the can right at the top by the spoke at the top of the wheel, so that when you rode your bike, it sounded like a motorbike. And it was lovely. I've got a stepdaughter now. She's 10. same age I was when I was doing all these things. And she wants for Christmas, same as she did last year, makeup, iPhones, ring lights, lip gloss, drunk elephant. I don't even know what drunk elephant is. Something that a 10-year-old doesn't need. She wants P. Louise. She wants Laneige body sets. Beauty bum. Yes, because that's exactly what a 10-year-old needs. Balm that goes on your bum. What happened to 10-year-olds wanting to play with fucking toys? Seriously? What happened? Where did we go wrong as a society that we have now got children that are 10 years old that are asking for makeup? When I had makeup, when I was that age, it was the little shit palette-y kind of makeups that would like make you break out now because they were, you know, horrible makeup. But it was literally like, you know, like a little heart shape, come on like a big multi-palette, proper kids makeup. That was what I had. I didn't have £90 of, you know, stuff from Sephora, but that's what we're raising now. And adults are encouraging it as well, more to the point. Now, I fully appreciate it is difficult when you've got a child saying to you, like it is with us, with my stepdaughter and my husband with his daughter, it is very difficult to say, no, you can't have that set, or you can't have that P. Louise set of makeup or sprays or whatever. You're 10. If that's what they've asked for Christmas. If she's asked for drunk elephant body sets, I'm assuming, perfume, or moisturizers or whatever, we're not going to turn around to her as parents and go, you can't have drunk elephant, but here's Barbie and Ken. But we're ruining Christmas. You know, it's just, she's asked for something. That's what she's going to get. So I'm fully not knocking parents that do this because I do get it as a parent myself. I just worry about society where we are, to a certain extent, with parents excusing this, and kind of there are scenarios on TikTok, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a little compilation there to show you what I mean. Parents are basically giving their kids carte blanche to go in with an unlimited spending amount into Sephora and places like Sephora to go and buy makeup that not only is ridiculously expensive, but it's also for adults. It's for adult skin. It's not suitable for 10-year-olds. Let me show you. So I am going to blur the faces of the children on here as best I can, even though they're not actually blurred on the originals, just because this is another problem with it, as well as that adults are recording their kids going into Sephora and doing these big Sephora hauls and splashing their kids all over social media, which again is just another issue that I've got with this, but we'll do another video on that at another date.
So come to Sephora with me.
Oh, maybe look, people out on the way.
Oh, let's hair oil. Yes, please. I need £20. Bargain. New piece of hair gloss. Check the complete baby, but check the taboo. Oh my god, I see good. It's so.
Now, I will be honest, I can't 100% tell. I didn't read the caption on this video. I just saw it and picked it because it was kind of explaining what it was that I was talking about. But I can't actually work out with this video and the way this child is talking, whether this is kind of a bit of a rage bait video and a piss take video. I don't know. So maybe you can answer that in the comments for me. I feel like there's a bit of a tone of mocking with this girl that she's doing it. Like, only £28 is, there's a bit of a, yeah, so I'm not sure. This may be a bit of a mocking video, but it still kind of details what it was that I was talking about.
It's so expensive enough for me. I do want to try on this Saint sniping shifts.
Oh, what? Can't even pronounce it.
Correlated. That's some I could do it. Oh, Sarah.
Oh, that's really good.
I still have like $200 to spend.
Oh, only $200 to spend. Okay.
We even had to bring a suitcase because we knew he was gonna drop some dollars. Laura!
I mean, wow.
Oh, this must be new. What is that? How to help you? I don't know what that was, but I can do something. You know, I just don't understand it. Oh my God. This is pretty clear, Sarah. I'm already playing now. I'm gonna, I sort of try to keep this. It's going in my basket. Maybe the little one and son was late. Oh.
Yeah, I'm starting to think this is probably a bit of a piss take video. This is exactly what the Sephora Kids trend is. It's kids going in with an unlimited amount of money and buying makeup that they don't need, basically.
Wait, be sensible. You've already bought 5 lip products today.
That's why I don't think you need a saying. Oh my goodness, don't miss me off. Oh, I said it. Oh my goodness.
So I'm gonna skip the video a little bit just towards the end, just because that kind of goes on for a little bit in the same vein. But yeah, this is kind of very similar to what I was talking about. This is the Sephora Kids trend.
Really good thing, so you can actually get that on TikTok Shop, though, you know.
And I'm betting what she's done there is this is probably just a really long advert for TikTok Shop. But yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm guessing if I went to her video again, it would be linked to that product on TikTok Shop. I could imagine. It's not the only one. I've got more.
I just got out of the shower. Man, that was a...
So this one, for people that can't see this, it's a 6-year-old nighttime self-care routine. Do 6-year-olds need a nighttime self-care routine? I don't know. It's a video of a young girl who's clearly around 6 years old in the bathroom, recording from the mirror, basically, her nighttime care routine. Again, I've blurred the child's face out.
It's a good shower. They have little faces. Now let's get into my skincare first.
So on the clip there, it says, step 1, wash hair with detangling shampoo and conditioner. Okay, that's fairly standard when you're having a bath or a shower, if you've got long hair, if you're a girl.
Skincare. First things first. After wet my face. Perfecto.
Step 2, cleanse with Kids Cloud Face Wash. Okay, I think just, washing with soap would do, but okay, we'll go with cleanse with Kids Cloud Face Wash, whatever that is. I just find it really concerning as well that a 6-year-old is recording this on TikTok for the public. It's just really worrying.
Open you up. Press it. Now let me wash it off. Oh my gosh.
So we've got step 3, moisturize with Kids Protective Face Cream.
Gosh. Okay, this is so cute. Man, that is so cute. Thank you,
Step 4, time for bed.
everyone. Bye.
And she's showing all of the products. I'm fairly certain, unless I missed it, it did say, although no, it says 6-year-old nighttime self-care routine. So I thought it said 6 steps in the routine, but no, it's 6-year-old nighttime care. But again, it's just, there's nothing kind of inherently wrong that she's putting on her face. It's not like she's putting adult products on her face. There's something just a little bit weird about 6-year-olds recording themselves doing their nighttime care routine. Whatever happened to, wash your face and brush your teeth and go to bed? Why do we have to record it? And why are we allowing it to then be plastered on the internet for millions of people to see? It's icky. Got another one now.
Daughter everything she touches while we're at the store. pistachio for juice the most super. And look, they even have trial sizes. That's nice, but I don't even think we're gonna be traveling anytime soon, so not today. After that, she definitely touched this one, so I have to get it. And she touched a trial size, but I think to be fair, I'm gonna have to buy that as well. This one is perfect when I'm at cheer and I have to do my funny count. Oh yeah, that is nice. But your football game's not for like 2 more days. We have a couple days before we need to get something like that. 2 days is actually not a long time, and I have a lot to do in that period of time, so I'm definitely going to get this for her cheerleading. Mom, I've been using your silver spray, and I've been really wanting to get my own.
Did she just say I've been using your setting spray? Why is this kid using setting spray? What's she putting on her face that she needs to set? She can't possibly be more than 10. And she's using setting spray. What are you setting?
You should get one of your own soon, but not today. Go ahead and put that back.
So you can have one soon, but not today, but she's not questioning why she's actually using setting spray in the first place. I don't... Okay.
Okay, I actually don't want her using mine anymore, so I definitely need to buy this one.
Oh, so mum's buying herself a new one because she doesn't want the daughter using hers. Not any part of, I'm assuming, mum. She's not concerned about her daughter actually using it. She just doesn't want her using her products.
Okay, I need to foundation, Mom. You are way too young for that. Go ahead and put that back, honey.
Finally, a bit of common sense. There we go. She doesn't need foundation.
Okay, I think she is too young for this, but I feel like it might be fun to add to her collection, so I'm going to put this in there too.
I've lost brain cells. I actually thought, oh, okay, fair play, Mum. You, and then you spoilt it. I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say, well done, Mum, she doesn't need foundation, and then you ruined it. Well, God.
I just like this milk jelly. That is really cute. It's so little, but I feel like you already have some blush.
Milk. What is that? Blush?
Blush. Go ahead and put it.
Yeah, blush. I mean, it's blusher, you know, that's fairly innocuous, I suppose, but I bet it's a... How much is milk blusher? Let's have a look. Okay. Milk blush jelly. So that's 23 quid. £23.
Back, honey. I love anything mini. I'm going to go ahead and get this. Come on, Mila. It's time to go check out. Check out what? You didn't even buy me anything. Actually, I put everything in the basket that you asked for. Thank you. I love everything. This is the best day.
At least you said thanks. Small mercies, I suppose. She's very polite. Shouldn't kick off. This is what we're dealing with.
Get ready with me for my Barbie shoot. So first we need concealer.
So this one is entitled, My 6-year-old does a full face of makeup better than me. Why is the 6-year-old doing a full face of makeup? And why are we putting them on the internet doing the full face of makeup?
Barbie's face is sparkling, you know that? Well,
This girl who's got, this 6-year-old has got the most insanely pretty eyes. She's got lovely eyes. You can't see it because I've blurred her face. She's so cute. She really does not need makeup. She is so naturally pretty. She does not need makeup. She probably will never need makeup. But kids of all sizes, shapes, do not need makeup at this age.
makes your face sparkly for Barbie.
That's a little too much blush.
That's
It is.
There's more stuff to blend.
You do need to blend.
There's more stuff to blend.
Okay.
So she's, oh God. It's so difficult because I'm going to try and blur this video for you to actually see what this looks like. This little girl, 6 years old, like I say, I made a point of saying how sort of naturally pretty she was because the after is so jarring. The only way I can sort of describe it is, have you ever seen the pageant children? and they've got their hair in the big ringlets and the full face of makeup. They've got the red lipstick, the very overdone eyelashes, the very red rosy cheeks. That's what she's gone to. It's red lips. It's very full on eyelashes, curly hair. It's quite jarring.
Over going to
She's filling in her eyebrows now.
going to put my fake eyelashes on. And then,
Putting my fake eyelashes on.
and then see if my dad notices. He's gonna notice. I'm going out to eat. Am I gonna wear these? I want to. Where's the red lipstick? No, where's the red lipstick? If I'm gonna put on these, I need red lipstick.
Dudge just walked into the kitchen looking less than impressed. Rightfully so.
What? Why are you looking at me like that?
Just put mini buttons on your eyes.
Oh my god.
I think I might have to do another episode just purely on the Sephora kids. Because it's just weird. I don't like it. It doesn't sit well with me. Putting kids on the internet full stop doesn't sit well with me. But this is just... no. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? I'm going to go and lie down.